All right. Hello, hello. Hi, everyone. We are back with our weekly interviews. I am Molly Casey with Beauty Queens Galore, the pageant resource. And today we are chatting with Kate Brunetti, my sister from Colorado, who is the current title holder. Wow, apparently I can't speak today. For International United Miss Colorado. And she is a mental health advocate and a student pursuing her degree in nursing. Kate, thank you so much for chatting with me today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
I'm so excited that I have a fellow Colorado title holder with me on today's live. So, who is Kate? Just to jump in, who is Kate outside of the crown and sash?
I am a huge book nerd. I love traveling. I love being outside, all the good Colorado stuff, the paddleboarding, hiking. Always have my water bottle with me. Kind of very typical Colorado girl. I drive a Subaru, so we're good with that. But besides that, I'm a nursing student and I work in the neonatal ICU. So I work with the little babies and pediatric kiddos as well. I am hoping once I graduate with my bachelor's to move into my doctorate degree. So that should be coming in the next 4 or 5 years.
Doctorate in what?
Nurse practice. So I would hope to open my own practice or join a practice with other NPs.
That's so cool. What is the biggest challenge that you face working in the NICU?
We get a lot of sad little cases sometimes. Unfortunately, where I live, we do have a big drug problem. So having to take those in is really tough. And I also work night shift. So being up all night is really rough sometimes too, just because I'm a very routine person. So the few days a week that I work where I have to stay up all night is a little rough.
I'm guessing there's a lot of coffee involved.
Always.
So, when you were looking at pageants, what really inspired you to compete and when did you start competing?
I have been competing for just over a year. I've only competed in 3 pageants. So my very first one was with you, as you know. But I decided to compete just because it was something I was always really interested in, especially growing up. I always wanted to try it, but in Colorado, there's just not a lot of pageants. And most of them are when you're a lot older and you're kind of in that teen and miss division. So I didn't get to do any when I was a kid, really growing up. And even though I wanted to, we just didn't know where to start or what to even look up to try to find anything, let alone where to get your outfits and your shoes and everything like that. So I decided to start competing last July in 2022. And I had so much fun. I went in completely cold. I had zero idea what to do or like how you even walk on stage, anything like that. But I just loved every second of it. And that weekend went by so fast. I made so many amazing friends. And it's like, okay, I need to do this for real and really devote myself into this. So then my next pageant was my Colorado one that I won. And I fell in love with that sisterhood. I had my first runner up, Gabby. She actually competed at my first pageant. So it was really fun to reunite with her. And then my third one was my most recent one, which was the international competition a few weeks ago.
You you literally only got back from nationals, what, 3 weeks ago?
Yeah,
So, for anyone that doesn't know, International United Miss, their nationals were the first week of July?
the second week of July.
Second
Yeah.
week, right, okay.
hmm
So, can you tell me a little bit about, what was your first national pageant like? Did it meet your expectations or what were you expecting? Kind of tell me about that process.
Fortunately, my coach had competed in that pageant before, so I was able to ask her a million questions. And that was really helpful because I really hate going into things when I don't really know what to expect. But fortunately, the system was really organized, which I loved. They gave us a schedule so far in advance, so I was able to plan. I planned out like my breaks, like what I was going to be doing in between each event, and kind of if I was going to eat a snack or if I was going to touch up my hair. Like I'm very type A with that stuff, so having that was really great. I had so much fun. All of the girls there were so sweet. There were girls in different age divisions from different states that I was just so excited to meet, and getting to see everyone was so much fun. We did 3 dinner parties the start of the week. So I was able to really get to know everyone before our required competition started. And I love that I got to do my optional competitions first so I could really kind of loosen up and get a feel for the stage and kind of get into that mindset of competing.
So, your first pageant was Miss Colorado USA, and then you went to International United Miss, where you went from a pageant that didn't have optionals to a pageant that had optionals.
Mm-hmm.
What was that like? And Was the idea of optionals at all confusing to you, or was that just a cool, fun side part? What was your thoughts about going into a pageant with optionals?
I was a little confused at first just because I was like, I do not know what casual wear even means. I am in healthcare. I wear scrubs every day. And if I'm not in scrubs, I'm like in my leggings and a tank top. So I was like, I don't know what to expect for that. And then I knew like the photogenic optionals because USA had that. And then I was really excited about their community service ones that they do. I really like that that's a part of your required competition. So that was really nice that we got to do that. And then my favorite optional is talent since I love to sing. So I was excited for that just because I haven't really sang on stage in front of people since I was in high school. So getting to do that was super fun and just kind of loosened me up a little bit before the actual required competitions. Because then if you mess up, then you're like, okay, I got my little trip up out of the way. And then you're not really worried about the rest of the time.
You get your jitters out in
Yeah.
the beginning of it so that when you get to the real competition,
Mm-hmm.
you're steady.
Yes.
And you also walked away with a talent award.
Did, yes. I won International Talent in the Miss Division. So that was super exciting. I had like a super cute little crown and sash and everything like that. So that was exciting. And then I got first runner up in their top model category, which is they have 3 judges that watch you do like a little photo shoot. And that was terrifying because, I've been modeling for about a year. And when you're doing those pictures, they do it really quick, but you're taking like a million. So you don't have to worry about what you're doing and you can like be goofy and like loosen yourself up. And I'm like, oh, now there's people like judging me on I didn't even know like if they're looking at how I'm posing or how I'm interacting with the photographer or anything like that. So that was a little nerve wracking, but I got first runner up in that division. And then I got third runner up in casual wear as well.
So, what did you discover casual wear is?
I had really no idea. So I knew I wanted to wear a dress because I I stalked every girl that had competed at internationals the past like 2 or 3 years. And I was like, okay, I just need to find what kind of everyone else was wearing. Like, same thing with High Fashion Runway, which is their version of fun fashion. I was like, I don't know what that is either. Like, I've only really done gown and swimsuit before that. And then at my state pageant for International United Miss, we just did evening gown and an onstage introduction and our interview. So I kind of just stalked everyone and found some good info. And I was like, oh, I really like that. The wonderful world of Facebook and all of our pageant groups are really great for looking. You can just look up casual wear and see what people are selling. So that was really helpful. And part of my platform in a way is sustainability. So all of my outfits, the entire week of internationals, were either something I have already owned and had worn many times, or I thrifted them. So that was my whole week, which was really amazing. My evening gown I bought secondhand from someone who she had just stopped competing, and I was like, I need this dress. This is the dress that I want. And the girl who was originally selling it didn't have it anymore. So this girl, she reached out to me. She's like, I saw your post. You can have it. Like, I'm done competing. So that was really great. So getting to do that was wonderful. So my casual wear, I ended up going to the thrift store with my mom, and we just tried on everything that I thought was cute and that I would wear to like brunch. And that's what we ended up finding.
That's so cool. I think a lot of people don't understand that pageantry doesn't have to be expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't, for those that don't know, there are a lot of pageant resale pages on Facebook. They're amazing. There's also Queenly. Beauty Queen's Galore is owned by Kennedy, who owns a gown shop herself, and I'm sure she can point you in a million different directions. She also can dress you, and her dresses are gorgeous. But that is all besides the point. Pageantry does not have to be expensive. Kate proves it. So what really pushed you, though, to compete in the International and United Miss system?
I knew after competing in USA, I wanted to jump into another system that I really found a family in. And because like truth be told, like I loved the USA system. It was a lot of fun, but it was honestly just the first pageant that was coming up. I think I signed up like a month before it started, and I just head first into it. So I did a lot of research, and I really wanted to find something that I was going to be proud to represent for an entire year and for the rest of my life, really, and that I was going to be proud of and that I connected with. So that's what I found with IUM. And I love their community service. I love volunteering. That's one of my big things that I've done just my whole life. So that was really important. And then I love their whole Sisters by Sash motto and how everyone seemed really close. And I knew even after just the first couple of minutes in my state pageant, that these girls were my friends. They weren't my competitors, which I really loved. We would all stand in the wings and we'd just cheer for everyone. And we were just taking pictures, making TikToks the whole time. It was so great. And then after I ended up winning, all of the girls stayed behind to like give me a big hug and to take pictures with me. So that meant a lot because, you know, there's always like that little bit in the back of your head where you're like, oh, like, I hope that we can all still be friends and that like no one's like has their feelings hurt or anything. And they're all still such great friends of mine. And our one of our competitors, she just won National American Miss Colorado. So that is super exciting for her too. So I'm glad that I get to continue to support her, and all of the other girls from other states were all so close. So
yeah, shout out to Caroline.
yes.
So with knowing that you jumped into Miss Colorado USA a month before the pageant, after that experience, what do you wish you had known before jumping headfirst into a pageant?
I wish that I took more time to practice interview. I practiced interview questions, but it's a lot different talking to my mom, where if I like mess up or I talk for too long, I would just be like, oh, but I wouldn't talk that long, or I wouldn't say that, because I really learned that you have to practice how you're going to perform. And the one thing that I really remember from my interview is I talked really fast and way too long, and I had almost too much energy, where I sat down and I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm just so happy to be here. Like, let me tell you all about me. And everyone's like, okay, let's slow down. So I wish that I did more with that. And then I also wish that I took more time to really practice just walking in heels. I'd always worn like the little like heels that you wear to prom or like when you're going out to dinner or something. And the first time I wore tippy tops, I was like, I'm going to break an ankle. During our practice stage time, I like didn't trip, but my ankle did that little like slidey thing, and that was scary. So I wish I took more time to practice that. And then after that pageant, I spent so long where I would just walk around my apartment in heels, like I'm just I'm changing laundry, I'm hanging stuff up, like just to get used to wearing them. So I wish I spent more time on that, but I think that that was something that I needed to learn, and sometimes you just got to learn the hard way.
The idea of doing heels and tippy tops is highly entertaining, but also smart because with your, you know, you have to bend down and pick things up and move things around, throws you off your balance. So there's a training mechanism I had never thought of before. And for anyone that maybe that is thinking of jumping into their first pageant and is like on the edge, what would you say to them? What pushed you to just say, I'm going to do it?
I decided when I was like, you know, I always thought that'd be really fun. I was sitting at dinner with my mom when she was talking about it, because the MAO pageant is in Parker, where I'm from. And she's like, we should go watch that. And I was like, you know, I've always wanted to compete. And she's like, let's see if you can still sign up. And, you know, it'd been like too late. It was like too close. It was like the next weekend or something. And she was like, you know, I bet there's another one like in July. Like there's got to be some. So I was like, you know what? Let's see. And I Googled pageants in Colorado, Miss, and then the USA system was the first one that popped up. And I was like, yep, that's in July. Let's do it. And I'm so glad I did, because, you know, you could spend your whole life sitting here saying, oh, I wish I did that, or I always wanted to do that, but here's all these reasons why I'm not. You know, I was terrified to be on stage in front of that many people. What if I couldn't make friends with other girls? Like all of these what ifs can stop you from anything in life. And, you know, I kind of told myself, I was like, you know, worst case scenario, I absolutely hate it and I never have to do it again. But best case scenario, I love it, which I did. And then you go on and you win a state title and you have the best year of your life, and you find this whole other little sisterhood that you never knew about.
What kind of preconceived notions did you have about pageantry that were just absolutely busted when you started competing?
I honestly was expecting people to be kind of mean. I thought that it was going to be very almost cutthroat and very like high intensity, and everyone is there to try to win and they don't have time to try to make friends, or if you need help with someone, it's like, oh, you should have been more prepared. Like I was almost expecting that, just because, you know, like, that's like what you see in movies and all that fun stuff, which is the only experience I've had in pageants was what I've seen on TV and all of that. So I was so happily surprised when I'm just standing in line for registration. You know, the girl in front of me turns around, introduces herself, and we all start talking. And there's several girls who gave like little cards out saying good luck or anything like that. And, like you gave me like a bobby pin or safety pin or something like that. And just like all those little things where I was like, yeah, like this is amazing. And then the entire time, like, cause I knew going into it, I was like, I'm not going to win. Like, I'm just here to have fun. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. So it was so much fun being able to hear everyone's names get called for top 16, like hug everyone. And after that, like get to go back and talk to everyone and watch the rest of the competition. It was just so much fun.
I think we were all sitting on the floor after top 16 was called eating Oreos, if I'm
Yep.
not incorrect. You're passing around a package of Oreos. Like, that is pageantry at its finest. We're all excited to see our sisters go on to compete. And then we're like, we're going to shove our face with Oreos now.
Yeah.
Because why not? When you think about competing and, everything that you've learned so far, what have you learned most about yourself?
I learned that I can do things that I never thought I could do. I am a little bit on the shyer side when I come to meeting new people, especially when I'm not with people that I already know. If I'm with like two or three other friends and they're like, this is so and so, it's fine. But when you're jumping into something like a state pageant or especially the national pageant, where I was like, okay, I know my like other Colorado girls, and that is it. It was really scary. And I was so nervous that I was going to get there. And, like you follow these girls their whole year. So you know a lot about them, but at the same time, you know nothing about them. So I made everyone little cards and I gave them a sticker that said Colorado on it. And I was like, here's this. And I was like handing them out and everything. And I was almost just nervous. I was like, oh, I want to be friends with everyone. And I just kind of got in my own head about that. And I was like, like I can do that. Like I can meet new people on my own pretty much. And the public speaking thing is like biggest fear in America. So the onstage introduction is terrifying, but getting to do that, I learned that I can do that. I can speak in front of people. And it's really helped a lot in my regular life when I have to do presentations for school or if I'm doing a job interview or anything like that. Like it's so helpful because if you're sitting here and you're like pageantry is just a big job. You're interviewing for your dream title, anything like that. And if I can do that, then I can pretty much do anything. And also like with the swimsuit competitions and stuff, if you can walk in a bikini and heels in front of hundreds of people and your dad, you can do anything. So
Yeah, that is extraordinarily true. And you've learned a whole lot about yourself, but when you think about your friends and your family, how do you think that they would describe you? You've just described yourself as potentially shy, but how do you think your friends and family would describe you?
I feel like they'd say I'm outgoing, which is the complete opposite. So, I feel like almost when I'm on stage, like I don't get nervous. I'm nervous right before, and then I step on and I'm completely fine. And it's kind of like this different person. I don't know why. I feel like I'm just not nervous, like when you can't see anyone because the lights are so bright or something. But I don't know. I think my mom's watching downstairs. She's probably laughing, saying I'm calling myself shy, but probably that I'm outgoing and I'm a huge empath. I would describe myself as that too, so I'm sure they would as well. And I'm always just really positive and happy to be wherever I am. Like seeing them call like top 5 and everything, even though I didn't make top 5. I was just so excited for everyone. And like I was on the end, so I got to see everyone's reactions. So that was just amazing. So I really am glad that my family got to see me kind of in my element and in my prime, where I'm just really excited like the whole week, where there wasn't anything that I would take back.
And you may have just kind of answered it, but what do you think the biggest misconception people is about you? You just said that your friends and family would say you're outgoing, but is there anything else that you think people might kind of misconceive about you?
I don't know. I get outside of like school and pageantry and stuff. I feel like I've been told that I look intimidating, and I don't know why. Because I'm like always smiling. I said in my nationals interview that I feel like Buddy the Elf because smiling's my favorite. So I guess that would be a misconception, but I don't hear that very often.
I love that. But okay, I'm gonna remember that forever now. And then kind of going on that same vein, if you were to finish this sentence, what would it be? I want to be remembered for
My positivity and making people's days better, even if it was just for a second.
I love that. And going off of that and going back to pageantry, when you walk into a pageant, what is your mindset? Kind of what are you looking forward to most in the week, or what's your goal for the week other than, walking away with a crown?
I definitely want to just have fun and really push myself to do the best that I can do. And then if I know that there's something that I could have done better on, instead of getting down on myself and being like, wow, like I should have done better, or this judge said this, and really letting those words affect me, taking that and realizing, okay, when I'm practicing for next time, let me look at these comments. Let me think about what I was getting down about myself on, and actually write those things down when I'm kind of in that like self doubt, like when you don't win or when you think that you did really bad. I thought on my state pageant that I bombed my interview, and I thought I walked way too fast during gown. So I was like, yep, yeah, no, that was it. Like, I'm over it, whatever. And almost, I think that mindset where I was like, well, I didn't win because I bombed those two things. Like, the rest of it doesn't matter. I think almost in that way, I was like, well, I had more fun just because I wasn't so uptight about it. So I really try to do that as well. I try to go into it to just have fun. And I'm doing it because I love it, not because I'm trying to win. Obviously, it's great to win. I didn't think I was going to win my state pageant, and then I did. And that was, I like instant tears, didn't know what to do. So all of those things, I think it's better than going in with your only goal being to win, because then if you don't, then you're like, okay, well, now what? And you're so focused on winning that you kind of almost miss the rest of everything else that you're trying to do.
That is so incredibly true. And you were saying next time. So have you taken these experiences from International United Miss Colorado and internationals, and what is the next what do the next years look like for you? Do you think you're going to continue on in pageantry and go for that next title?
Yeah, I definitely think I am. I really do have to focus on school and everything as well. So I'm definitely thinking about it. I'm not done competing for sure. I know that I will definitely come back to IUM when I age up into the Ms. division for sure. They also have a national side where I can compete with a regional title. So I could be like Miss Denver, Miss Rocky Mountain States, or kind of any of those, which would be really great too, because you can still compete for a really big national title. So definitely thinking about a lot of different things. So just kind of have to see what I feel is right. And, I definitely want to finish out my year as Miss Colorado and being able to finish my year of service and do all of the things that I want to finish doing, because winning another state title is not guaranteed and winning a national title is not guaranteed. So if this is my only shot, I want to make the absolute most of it so I don't give my title away in October and be like, wow, I wish I did all of these other things.
And you've almost served your entire title holdership. I think I may have just made a word up there. But with your year of service, if somebody were to ask you, what does it mean to have a year of service? How would you explain it to them? Because I think a lot of people think, oh, it's just a crown and a sash. You get to go look pretty at events. But in all reality, it really is a year of giving back to your community. How would you explain, a year of service to somebody?
It's being able to take what you're passionate about and bringing this new light to it. You will never get more eyes on you than when you're wearing a sparkly hat. And you can't walk more than 3 feet without someone either pointing at you or trying to talk to you or take a picture or anything. My very first appearance, I think I stood out there for probably 2 or 3 hours longer than I wanted to, just because there's so many people at this event that were wanting to know what this was and everything like that. So even being able just to sit there and be like, I'm International United Miss Colorado, my platform is mental health. Let's talk about that. Like, even those little things where you're able to bring light to your own platform, you're able to go to these volunteer organizations that you're passionate about, and you have this whole new platform to promote it. And not only do you have your own title holder page, but you have your state page posting about all the things you're doing. You have your national system posting about it too. You have your friends supporting you, and you have all these new eyes on you, and just people that do pageants in general, and they're seeing these charities that you're going to, and you're informing people about things that they may not have even known. I knew little to nothing about the Alzheimer's Association, and my sister, Queen Gabby, that was part of her platform. And I went to 2 or 3 different Alzheimer's events with her. And I got to meet so many people that had family members that had that diagnosis or were just really close with people that had it. And it was like a whole new light that I wouldn't have known if she weren't volunteering as that title holder. So it's your year to make it what you want and to show pretty much the world these things that you want other people to know about. So then other people are hopefully going to continue to pay attention to those charities when you're no longer wearing a sparkly hat.
And you just mentioned that your platform is around mental health. Can you tell me a little bit about why you chose that and why it means so much to you?
Yes. So mental health is something that I kind of struggled with growing up. I was just a very anxious person, and I was an even more anxious child. And I just didn't really know what it was, and I didn't know how to bring it up. I was like, I just feel weird. Like I didn't know. I felt like it wasn't quite being nervous, but it wasn't like anything else. I just didn't really know what it was. So it wasn't until I was like full on panicking about something, and then my mom ended up kind of bringing it up, and she's like, "It's kind of like you're just really anxious." And I was like, "I don't know what that means," and kind of being able to talk about that. And luckily, like my family's so supportive that I'm able to really confide in them at any point. Like I'd call my mom at 2 a.m. and be like, "I'm freaking out." She'd be like, "All right, I'm on my way." Like kind of anything like that. So I know that some people aren't that fortunate to have a support system like that. So I wanted to not only be that support person for people where they can reach out to me at any point, even if I don't know them, but I wanted to start to destigmatize mental health. I worked in a mental health unit in the emergency room for about a year, and that was really rough. We would get so many people in at their complete wits end that were just at their lowest. And when we would ask them during their mental health evaluation if they had like sought out help before, they'd all say no because they didn't want to be judged. They didn't know how to get help. They didn't know how to talk about it. When they tried to talk about it, they were told that they're just sad or they just need to stop thinking about it. They need to stop worrying, like it's in their head, whatever, all of those things. And every time I just thought, okay, well, if this person had resources or someone to talk to, they would probably not be in this situation right now. So my official platform is called Let's Talk About It, Ending Mental Health Stigma. So that's the whole point, is just being able to talk about it, being able to come on and talk about my own mental health journey and how I'm still kind of on the struggle bus some days and some days are better than others. And being very honest about that, I try to be very see through with how I'm doing. On my title holder page, I've posted a few times being like, I'm having a really rough day. This is what I'm doing, because it's not just I'm in this perfect state every day. Like some days are really rough, and that's fine. And it's okay to have that. And I think it's important to show that. And, when you have a title, you have a lot of people looking at you, and you're influencing these people whether you know it or not. So being able to show, like, I'm having a rough day. I think my video was like, I'm watching The Office 50th time with my cat, and like that was it. Like that was like what I was doing. Like getting to show that and getting to just to show other people, and specifically like our younger generation that are starting to maybe get these feelings, or people that have never talked about mental health before, getting to see that I think is important, because they're seeing someone that's like a pageant girl and whatever you want to put us under, like that category, is struggling and she's okay with it and she's sharing it. Hopefully that would help other people to know, like, okay, I can prioritize my mental health. I can take mental health days. It's okay to not be okay. I have resources. I can reach out to these resources without people judging me. And that's kind of my whole purpose.
What do you think is a misconception about mental health that it really needs to be broken?
Men's mental health specifically, I think, is really important. It is very not talked about. It's something, I think it's incredibly sad how few men feel like they can share their feelings, and not even if they're having like a mental health issue, but even if they're just sad about something, how they don't want to speak up about it because they're not seen as being man enough, or they need to man up, or they need to be this strong figure for whatever reason. And that's when most male suicides happen, and that's an incredibly high number in our country right now because it's not talked about enough. So having that be known too, and checking in on our brothers, our dads, our male friends, anyone that seems like they may be having a rough day. I do it with my coworkers. I'm like, hey, just checking in. Little things like that I think can really help. And if you can identify yourself and make it known that you're a safe person to talk to when someone is struggling, or that you're posting resources and someone just happens to see them, I think that that is more than enough. And if more people are able to do that, then we're able to really stop that crisis.
Yes, 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 and then some more yes. Mental health in this country, right now the statistic is 1 in 5 individuals have a diagnosable mental health condition. Truth is, it's probably more like 1 in 3, just because people don't disclose it, or they don't want to talk about it, or they don't want to think that they need to go get help, so they never do get help, and then it just kind of spirals from there. And so to be able to, like you said, be the one that has the sparkly hat on and the one that is everyone, wants to come up and talk to you, and to be able to be that person that does create that conversation. That is what a year of service, like you're saying, is.
Mhm.
That is the whole point of it, is to be able to make that difference in the end. So you have a month and a half left. If am I mathing right?
Yeah, I have
Okay, almost two
until
months.
October 5th, I believe. It's either the
Okay.
5th or the 7th. I should know that, but I don't want to think about giving my title up. So
Let's say you've got 2 more months left. What are you going to
Mhm.
do in the next 2 months?
I'm hoping, since school has started up again this past spring semester, I was able to go to a lot of schools and do mental health presentations and little crafts and everything like that. So I did a lot more with elementary and middle school. I'm hoping to get into the high schools and hopefully into some colleges just a little bit, just to help with talking about how you can take mental health days and it's okay. And here's good resources. And applying for college is really stressful. And here's how you can kind of cope with all of these things that are changing, especially, I think, my junior and senior year of high school were insane. And I graduated during COVID, so that was a whole other thing. But it was really hard because I felt like everyone knew what they were doing except for me. And then after I graduated, I was like, wow, no one knew what they're doing. So kind of being able to talk like to people like that. So I'm really hoping to get more into schools, and I want to do a little bit more with mental health, and I also want to do more donation based work for like period poverty and in homeless shelters, because I feel like a lot of those things are only identified around like the holidays, which is great, but kind of more like that. And then I also want to do um, giving supplies to schools that can't afford supplies for their kiddos, or for specific kiddos that can't get all of their school supplies or anything like that.
You're going to keep yourself busy.
I'm gonna try.
I fully believe that you can. You've been doing a pretty good job of that thus far. So I have a feeling you'll be able to get all of that done, and probably then some. And, as you think through the next 2 months and everything that you hope to achieve, when you look back on the year that you've served so far, do you have a specific memory or highlight that pops up?
I think the first time that all of our sister queens got together, it was watching your pageant for Miss Colorado for America Strong. That was the first time that we were all really able to get together as a group after our pageant, really, just because so many of us come from kind of all over. So that was so much fun. And we got to go around and talk about why we started doing pageants and why we love it and why we picked IUM, and kind of like our big goal for what we want to do, like eventually. And that was so much fun, and really getting to know everyone. So, especially like our younger ones that I don't get to see too much of, because they're little and all of that. So, that was a huge highlight. And I think that dinner really made us a lot closer. And getting to see these littles face light up when everyone was wearing their evening gowns and everything. They like wore their little state pageant evening gown and everything. Oh my gosh, it was the cutest thing. So, that was definitely a big highlight. And then we do a thing called Secret Sister, where it's like Secret Santa, but with our Colorado girls. So, we did a couple gift exchanges before internationals, and we did one at internationals. So getting to do that and like seeing the littles like try to pretend like you're not their person and everything. They're like, oh, that's really cool. I wonder who got you that. Things like that. It was like huge highlight. I'm gonna miss them so much. And I don't want to think about not getting to have them with me all the time.
And if you were to like kind of give a PSA or like a push for girls to come, girls, women, little ones, all of the above, to compete for International United Miss Colorado, what would your elevator pitch be? Like, why did you join, and why do you think they should?
It's definitely a sisterhood. You're going to have the best year of your entire life. You're going to have so many opportunities that you didn't even think were going to happen. You're going to make tons of friends. You're going to walk away from internationals with hundreds of new sisters that you didn't know that you needed. And it's not for a year, it's for life. So these people aren't just going to go away in October when I pass it on to the next person, but they're going to be there forever. And it's truly a legacy. You're always going to be part of that internationals class. And it's something that I wish I could just like restart the clock and like do my year all over again, just because I'm going to miss it so much.
Well, like you said, you can, once you age up, which I don't know, what is the starting age for Ms.
24. Yeah. But there's no limitations for Miss or Ms. on marital status or if you have children or not. So it's younger, but there's no limitations, which is kind of nice too. So
That's so young.
mm-hmm.
Now I feel old. Anyway, anywho, not me feeling old. What is something that you really hope somebody, remembers you for from this interview and from your year?
From this interview, definitely my platform and talking about mental health and knowing that there's resources out there and that if you feel like you have no one, you have me. You can message me on my Instagram. You can call me at any point. It could be 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm probably awake because I'm crazy and work nights, and I'll answer and I can help you out. I have countless mental health resources posted, so all of those. And then just from my year in general, just kind of like that being positive thing and just being able to cheer on everyone and getting to watch everyone in all the other states their year and seeing them do great things. And hopefully I did good things too. I said when I won, I said, Colorado, I'm going to make you proud. So hopefully I made Colorado proud in my year.
I think you did. And I just give me one fun fact about you, and hopefully it's the fun fact about the natural highlight in your hair.
Oh, yes. I have a little birthmark that's blonde. This eyebrow and these eyelashes are blonde too, but these ones are brown. I don't know what it is, but I have it.
I think it's the coolest thing on the face.
Yeah, I'm the only person in my family that has it. So I don't know. My mom's blonde. My dad has brown hair, so I think that's just like a little bit of my mom poking through. So
that's so stinking cool.
Yeah.
I just had to let everyone else know that because I think that's the coolest thing on the face. So if, looking at a pageant resource such as Beauty Queens Galore, what's something that you as a title holder would like to see more of from us and just in the pageant community in general?
I think more talking to other title holders. I really like that you guys are doing that for different systems where it's not just a lot of pageant pages I feel like are only really posting about like Miss America, Miss Universe kind of a thing because those are the big ones that everyone watches and that everyone knows. But making the smaller systems known and showing the diversity in them and what their values are and what their focus is and everything like that. I think that is really great because I think that's a good way to discover other systems that maybe people didn't know that they would like and didn't know they'd fall into. I really only found International United Miss from a Facebook page when someone posted that they like competed at that internationals and I was like, I have never heard of this before. So then I Googled it. So, because I've heard of like NAM was great and then like MAO, Miss USA, all of those. But I was like, I don't know what that is. And then when I've brought it up to other people, they're like, I only know about Miss USA, Miss America. So I think having more of that where more people outside of pageants can kind of recognize that there's other systems too. So I don't have to sit there and explain, well, there's a bunch of different systems and there's a bunch of Miss Colorado and everything like that. So I think that y'all do a really great job of that. But I think other resource pages could do a really great job of kind of showing more of all of those and showing more of like what state pageants are happening and what nationals are happening too.
I genuinely had zero clue that there were more than like 3 pageant systems until probably last year. And now my mind is like blown. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I want to do them all, but I have this much time and that much money. So it's a challenge. We all get there eventually. Yeah. All right. So to wrap everything up, we're going to play a quick game of this or that. You ready?
Okay. Yes.
All right. This one's my favorite. Underdressed or overdressed?
Ooh, I'd say over. I feel like if you show up somewhere and you're underdressed, people are going to look at you funny. But if you're overdressed, then people are like, oh, she just looks really good.
Love that choice. Natural glam or full glam?
That's a hard one. I don't wear a whole lot of makeup outside of pageants. So when I do, I want to be like full out there.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Phone call or text?
Phone call. I am the world's worst texter. I think I have like 300 unread messages and I don't even want to try to reply because I feel bad because it's been like 2 months. But if you call me, I'm good at phone calls.
Your little message symbol has the number 300 on it.
I think so.
That just made my anxiety go through the roof.
I know.
All right.
I reply to you. I'm good at replying to you.
Only because I usually text you 4 times in a row because I have a
Yeah.
question. Hair up or hair down?
Hair up.
All right.
Mhm.
Swimsuit or evening gown?
Evening gown.
Evening gown with a slit or without?
Ooh. I have one with a slit and one without, and I love them both a lot, but probably slit.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna throw a wrench in that. Dress or jumpsuit?
Ooh. Dress, because I have long legs and jumpsuits are always like clam diggers on me where they're like too short. So,
I have never heard anyone call them clam diggers. I've only ever heard them called high waters. That is a new
I think
one.
that's like my stepdad's from Wisconsin. I think it's a Wisconsin thing.
That is a brand new one for me. Oh my gosh, that's made my day. All right. All right. Hairspray or hair gel?
Hairspray.
Hairspray is a thing. It is. And when you lose your favorite hairspray, it's like the end of the world.
All right now.
Sash or crown?
Sash.
Interview or swimsuit?
Interview.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think I know the answer to this one. Save or spend?
Safe.
Liquid eyeliner or pencil eyeliner?
Ooh. I think my eyeliner is like the felt tip one. I don't know if that counts as liquid or not. I feel like it's liquid, but I don't have to dip it in the little thingy. It's like a felt tip pen.
You just found a loophole.
Yeah.
All right, best one for last. Sneakers or stilettos?
Sneakers. The second I am off a pageant stage, my shoes are off. I do not care anymore. My feet hurt. I live in sneakers at work. I can't do it.
All right, that's fair. That's very fair. All right, so where can we follow you to cheer you on for the rest of the year and also into your future as you become a nurse practitioner and the next Miss Colorado of whichever next system?
You can follow my personal page, which is kate.elizabeth7, and then my title holder page is IUM Miss Colorado.
Perfect. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me tonight. I'm so glad everyone else got to get to know my favorite Colorado sister.
Thank you.
Everyone, thank you so much for joining in. Once again, my name is Molly Casey. This was Beauty Queens Galore, your weekly interview for Beauty Queens Galore. Thank you so much again, and I hope you join us next time. Have a great night, everyone.